In life, we all have trouble getting inspired or motivated at times, and have difficulty getting certain things done in our lives. When we seek inspiration and motivation, we may talk to our friends or family members, listen to motivational music, or watch motivational speakers. But sometimes none of these work, no matter how much we want them to. Fictional characters, particularly superheroes, can be a great source of inspiration and motivation, and have often inspired people to do great things.
It's well established. Superman cleans his uniform by flying into Earth's yellow sun, which incinerates any contaminant matter and leaves the invulnerable Kryptonian fabric unharmed and daisy fresh.
What if you get something Kryptonian on it?
Like what?
I don't know, Kryptonian mustard.
Many of these characters can also easily be connected to aspects of positive psychology. We connect to these characters because we can identify with them. And even with having superpowers, which not all superheroes have, these characters are still human, or at least have similar characteristics, and can go through hard times and have bad days just like the rest of us. Except for that one time Captain America became a Nazi. That was just stupid. And while I can't say how every single one of these characters connects to positive psychology, I can at least talk about some of the ones which I know well and have helped me with my own experiences. Near the end of my senior year of college, I felt like I was just going through the motions, getting my schoolwork done and studying when I needed to, but not doing the work that I actually wanted to do. I had always written about things as a hobby, usually just about life in general, but I had never really gone anywhere with it. At a certain point, I started taking notes on some of my favorite nonfiction inspirational books that I've read so that maybe I could use their info to help myself and other people in the future. But I was rarely inspired or motivated to actually write those notes.
Okay, here we go. Ah!
At one point, I watched the Disney movie Big Hero 6. And although I didn't love it as much as other people seemed to, it still really inspired me to continue my work. I was specifically inspired by the characters Tadashi and Baymax. Tadashi was the older brother of the main character Hiro, and he tragically died in a fire while trying to help save someone. Before his unfortunate demise, Tadashi says,
"Someone has to help."
And even with the simplicity of that line, I really felt the emotion of it due to the kind-hearted nature of this character. Tadashi is also the creator of the robot Baymax, who was designed to help people through various medical, mental, and emotional issues.
Hello, I am Baymax, your personal healthcare companion. I was alerted to the need for medical attention when you said, "Ow."
Baymax was specifically designed to help people, which inspired me to create something new meant to help people. But I wasn't quite sure how to put it all together yet. A bit later, but still months before the idea of Nerd Positive, I had started watching the 2014 TV series The Flash, based on the comic book hero of the same name. The show had a bit of a slow start for me, ironically, but I kept up with it and I really enjoyed it. It's still one of the few shows I actually watch on TV when it airs. The main characters in the show are also close to my age, so I felt like I could identify with them easily. These characters also happen to be huge science nerds to the point where they can talk about advanced topics as if they were common knowledge. The character Cisco also happens to be a huge nerd in general, so I found him very easy to identify with his constant movie and TV show references. Now, I've never been any good at the kind of science that they talk about, but about halfway through the first season I thought to myself, hey, I really like positive psychology, but don't really have the money or motivation for more school, and I feel like it would take too long. So maybe I could do some of my own research and be a huge nerd about that, and then someday maybe I'll make something out of it. The other thing that inspired me was the character of the Flash himself, specifically Barry Allen. The TV series and the Flashpoint Paradox animated movie are the first time I had really paid any attention to the character, and in both of these it shows that Barry Allen has a drive to help those in need, whether that help involves superpowers in some way or not. Even in a Flash-centric Justice League episode that that was about his hometown celebrating him, he still saw helping others as his priority, and even helped villain the Trickster and talk to him like he was an actual person instead of an enemy.
James, you're off your meds, aren't you?
I'm better off without him. Take him if I start feeling down.
You know that's not how the medicine works. You're not well.
I'm fine. You want to throw some darts?
No. Listen, James, you're wearing the suit again.
I am? Well, what do you know?
Here's the deal, buddy. Tell me where those guys went, and I promise to come see you in the hospital. We'll play darts. The soft kind.
Okay.
Through these incarnations of the Flash, I realized that I wanted to help others as well. But in this case, using my knowledge of positive psychology, and thus eventually, Nerd Positive was born. The last superhero I have to talk about briefly is one of today's most well-known and popular superheroes, Batman.
Batman does not eat nachos!
This caped crusader has inspired numerous people in a great multitude of ways. There's even a documentary about it called Legends of the Night. This documentary shows how a superhero without superpowers has inspired people to do great things like run marathons or even fight against cancer. I highly recommend it if you're seeking something to watch to inspire you. I never expected any of these heroes to actually inspire me and give me the power to go forward with the ideas I had, but I'm very glad they did. So, in the end, it may sometimes be difficult to seek inspiration and motivation to do great things or do what we enjoy, but the sources of these feelings can sometimes come from the least expected places. So remember,
A hero can be anyone, even a man doing something as simple and reassuring as putting a coat around a young boy's shoulders to let him know the world hadn't ended.
With great power comes great responsibility.
and also don't forget to nerd positively. Hey everybody, Errol here. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'd also like to announce that the Nerd Dynamic podcast is back from hiatus. In the most recent episode, I talked to my friends about what stood out for us at E3. You can check both parts of that podcast out here. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.